Hi everybody, welcome back to 100% Marks. So Newcastle United going at this game tomorrow night at St James's Park against, of course, Manchester City, and it will be an 8 o'clock kickoff live on Sky Sports. It is the second last home game of the season, with, of course, the last one being the Sheffield United game, which, of course, will have 10,000 Newcastle United fans in attendance for it. So hopefully, lads, everybody that goes to that match will give Bruce hell for the way Newcastle United has played this season. You know, just look at the way we've played. We've got 2 home games left to play, and you know, Steve Bruce this season has collected 20 points at St James's Park this season. That is absolutely dreadful. Dreadful performance this season at St James's Park by Steve Bruce's tactics. And, you know, that's 6 less than last season and 2 less than were lowest in the Premier League tally of course, the 08-09 season, where we got 22 goals at St James's Park. It's absolutely dreadful football. And, you know, that's why I didn't want Steve Bruce at Newcastle United. I said it, you know, when he was being rumoured to come in place of for Benitez, who was going off to Dele Alli, you know, and it's just absolutely disgusting to watch the football that, you know, Steve Bruce has been putting out. Yes, we've had some games, you know, we've had some games where they've been entertaining to watch, like the game against Leicester just gone, you know, but we didn't expect to come away from that game with that kind of win. We didn't expect that kind of result, and yet we got it, you know, and that's no thanks to Steve Bruce. You know, it's all thanks that goes to, you know, Graham Jones, in my opinion. You know, there's a lot of work going on behind the scenes that we don't get to see at the club, and that's all being done by Graham Jones and other people behind the scenes. For me, you know, the way Steve Bruce has managed Newcastle is absolutely disgusting, and he shouldn't be there next season. You know, we're definitely staying up now because we've seen Fulham, you know, they lost 2-0 to Burnley on Monday night, so they're definitely down there along with, of course, West Brom and Sheffield United. And of course, they'll be replaced next season by the 3 teams coming up, which 2 of them we already know is Norwich and Watford, and the other one will be between either Barnsley, Bournemouth, Brentford, or Swansea City. You know, so either one of them 4 will be joining Norwich and Watford in the Premier League next season. If it's Bournemouth, then that means that we're going to have the 3 teams that went down last season coming straight back up this season. That's never happened before, in my opinion, you know, in the Premier League. So if that does happen, then that'll be a first. But looking at the way Man City's played this season, they absolutely deserve 100% to win the Premier League title this season. They have been absolutely fantastic. So far this season, Man City have taken 42 points from a possible 51 away from home, which is absolutely great. And, of course, that's thanks to 13 wins and draws at, of course, Leeds United, which they drew 1-1 with. A draw with West Ham, who's been absolutely fantastic as well this season. They drew 1-1 with them. And, of course, a 0-0 against, of course, Manchester United, their rivals. And, you know, it's just one of them things. It's absolutely amazing performance by Man City this season to win the Premier League title, and they fully deserve it. But looking at the way we've played this season, you know, it could have been so much better for us Newcastle fans, because we could have had that takeover, you know, by Piff, Amanda Staveley and the Rubens. It's still going ahead. It's behind the scenes at this moment in time. It's going on still. You know, we've seen Amanda Staveley come out and say that she's under strict NDAs with Newcastle United and she can't talk about the takeover. They can't talk about it, you know, nobody can talk about it. We'll see Mike Ashley push another case onto the Premier League, which of course was the case that Keith Patterson of NCSL. I did talk about it in the other video. You can go check out it fully in that. But, you know, we're going to this game, second last game of the season, at home against Manchester City. It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy. It is Man City at the end of the day, and you've heard the stats there. They're absolutely firing on all cylinders. And the only little glimmer of hope that we'll have to come away from this game with something positive is the fact that maybe Pep Guardiola will be looking towards that Champions League final, Manchester City's first Champions League final. And of course, maybe he's play a slightly weakened side, but even if he does play a slightly weakened side, it's still going to be possibly along the lines of Sergio Aguero, them kinds of players. So it's not going to be that weak of a side to begin with. There is, of course, the doubt over the fitness of Kevin De Bruyne. So that's a positive, I guess, we could look at. But then, we've also got a negative going into the game. And that is, of course, the news that we found out that Callum Wilson has now got a hamstring injury, which he picked up in the game against Leicester City, which just surprises me immensely when I heard it, because the way Callum Wilson walked off the pitch at the end of the match, it didn't even look like the lad had a hamstring injury. So it does surprise me very much on that news coming out saying that he's got a hamstring injury, but that means he will miss now the remainder of the season. The game against Sheffield United, this game against Man City, and of course the game against Fulham down in the capital on the last day of the season. It's just one of them things. We're going to have to go into it with the same mentality that we showed in the game against Leicester. We're still going to have, obviously, Alan St-Maxim, Joe Willock as well. I'd love to see Steve Bruce go with an unchanged side, a somewhat unchanged side anyway, with, of course, Callum Wilson going out. I think you'll probably put the likes of Joe Linton in for Callum Wilson, which I wouldn't have a problem with it off of recent form, because Joe Linton has done well in recent form, and it does hurt us to say that, because I'm not the biggest fan of Joe Linton. He's really not worth the 40 million we paid for him. If we even paid that as well, that's questionable on that fee. But I think Steve Bruce will go with Joe Linton in there to replace Callum Wilson. I'd love to see John Joe Shelby drop out the side, and maybe somebody like Sean Longstaff or Matty Longstaff, or even Elliot Anderson, coming in to play alongside the likes of Joe Willock, because Joe Willock has been absolutely fantastic. He's got to play the remainder of what's left of the season, especially after that performance in the Leicester game. I would expect Martin Dubravka to be in goal, but there is rumours going around that, of course, Caldolo might be chosen to go in goal. If he is, that's going to be questionable in my opinion. I would stick with Martin Dubravka. He's my number one. You'd want your best goalkeeper between the sticks, especially when you're going up against Manchester City. Even if they are playing a slightly weakened side, they're still going to possibly be playing the likes of Sergio Aguero, and you don't want Caldolo in goal for that, even if he has done reasonably well in this season. He hasn't played in a while since Martin Dubravka came back into the side, so he's going to be really rusty between the sticks for us. So I wouldn't go with Caldolo in goal. I'd go with Martin Dubravka in my opinion. But anyway, make sure to hit a like on the video if you like it. Make sure to subscribe to the channel as well. I've had an absolutely fantastic boost in subscribers of late, with 461 subscribers now, pushing on to that 500. And of course, hopefully we can hit it by the end of this month. If we can, then we can push on to the next 500 and hit that 1k subscriber milestone, which will be an absolutely massive achievement for the channel. And of course, if you haven't seen the previous video, which is of course the anniversary video that's come out just before this one, then go check that out. I talk about, of course, why the channel was created, why the brand 100% Mags was created as well, and of course, ideas moving forward with the channel as well. And also, I'd love to hear some ideas down in the comments of that video as well, for the channel moving forward. Until next time, I'll see you all there, and how are the lads?